Can I help you with something?
Is Martha around?
No, she's actually off to the new year. She's spending Christmas with her parents.
Oh, nice. I just had a question about my reservation.
Sure. What can I find out for you?
Who made it?
Run them by me again?
I received this card in the mail confirming my reservation at the inn, and I assume my office sent it, but they didn't.
Didn't they have a return address?
Yeah, no, it's right there. It says it's from the inn.
Oh, wow, well, we certainly didn't send this. It shouldn't be hard to get to the bottom of this. Let's see here. All right, there we go. Sarah Thomas.
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
What?
Well, the reservation line is blank. Must be an oversight.
You're listening to The Night Before, a movie podcast. Each episode, we find a unique place in the city and share a drink and our thoughts about the movie we watched the night before. This is Lee, and I am joined, as always, by my husband, Jesse.
Merry Christmas.
Yeah, I was going to say, were you going to say Merry Christmas?
Yes. Or Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays.
Happy Holidays.
This is our holiday episode,
It is.
and we are at...
Oh, and this beer tastes like Christmas. It does. Oh my gosh, it does. It's so good.
Maybe.
Wow, I like it.
I'm going to say maybe. So we're in the Poorhouse. That's the name of the place we're at. The Poorhouse.
Yes.
P-O-U-R house.
P-O-U-R house.
In the Channelside district
We
of
haven't done a
Tampa.
podcast
First
from
time here.
here.
It also doubles as a coffee shop, ginger beard coffee. But it is...
We thought about coming to this morning, but we didn't make it.
We waited till after dinner. So
But
it's
we
good. So
had
we're-
ginger beer coffee this morning.
We did. So we're drinking, which is, I'll call it like, kind of like their holiday brew. The Poorhouse has a brewery that they carry their own drinks. The Poorhouse does. They brew their own beer. But they also have Late Start Brewing currently is still in here. And we have a
Yes.
Late Start Brewing holiday-inspired beer. It's a sour called
Chaos Magic.
Chaos Magic. And it has tangerine, grapefruit, honey, cinnamon, allspice, lime, and coffee.
The allspice is very, like, it tastes like a little, it doesn't taste pumpkinish, but there's something like
It definitely
Christmassy or
tastes
holiday-ish about
tangerine-y.
it. See, I taste the allspice more
That's,
than the
I mean, I guess it needs that stuff, but I don't associate tangerine and grapefruit with Christmas as much.
So good. I like it.
It needs to be a little spicier.
Because you like the sharp ginger kind of.
Yeah, but it's still good.
I like it. It's really good.
It's a
I like
sipper.
it better than our first one we had.
Oh, but you know what? That's it. I just tasted some of the coffee undertones.
Yeah.
All right, so it's good.
Okay, it's good.
It's a good little
We recommend it.
holiday drink. It's something different.
Yeah.
And so also what's something different is this episode.
Yes.
We
We're
watched,
excited about this because we've been working on this for a while.
So it's not a traditional night before.
Although we did watch one yesterday.
Two
Two
last night.
Last night. But
So it's not the traditional watch where we watched the night before. But besides these two, but we watched 10 Hallmark holiday movies, Countdown to Christmas as they call it.
over the course of December.
Yeah, throughout the month. And it just sort of happened organically. One Sunday night
And we watched our last two last night.
Yeah.
So this is the night before, but we're including all 10.
So we got through 10. It was rough at times.
It was rough at times. It was hard to get through it.
Only it's not because I think on their own they're good. They have like a certain charm to them.
Yeah.
But so I'm sure we'll get into a bit. They carry some very similar themes in every movie.
Well, okay. And there's good and bad about that because there were moments, and I'll talk about that during those certain movies, that I was just at home. I was feeling all the feels. I was loving it. Then there are moments that I was like, oh man, this is tough.
It's only tough because they retread some of the same stuff, and when you're kind of focusing and
Well,
paying
it's all
attention
the same
to them,
formula.
yeah. But at the same time, it was fun because
But you know it's going to be that.
yeah.
We know it's going to be that. When we go into the Hallmark holiday, we know what we've signed up for.
So basically, it started like we're just watching like on a Sunday night, one or two movies, got into them, and then it's also just something you can leave on because they just play them one after another on the Hallmark channel. But then also, we stuck to be clear, we stuck to the Hallmark channel.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't do any sort of
With commercials.
on demand. We just what was playing. We recorded some on DVR,
Yeah.
or we picked the Hallmark Movies and Mysteries channel.
Right.
A couple sit on that, but they had to be their countdown to Christmas holiday movies.
Mm-hmm.
And so some of them that we watched more than 10, but we only paid attention to 10. Like there were times we would just leave it on all day, like on a weekend.
Yeah. But we can't really talk about some of them because
Yeah.
we weren't in it enough.
And I would say, I'm rolling back my "it was tough" statement. It was only tough when we were like, oh, you know what, we need to at least get 10.
10 good
Once
ones that we've watched.
Yeah, once we set a thing and we wanted to do it. So our goal today is we've decided over dinner is we're going to whittle it down to our collective favorite film
Right.
that we can agree upon.
The one favorite
That we're going to save.
that we have not talked about yet.
We haven't.
We have no idea.
For the night before rules, we haven't talked about any of these really. Anything like any in depth. Like you might mention like, oh, that was the film that took place in the castle or whatever.
Right. Right.
Oh, that was the film with the cookie making montage.
All of them. That was a film where they kiss at the end.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
that
all
was
of
the film where
them.
they decide to change their life and to change their careers. Take a chance on love.
So let me say something before we move on about
And then we'll get
that.
to our goal for this episode.
Yeah. So the comfort of the prescripted
The formula.
formula. It's like some
There's
of the
like a-
shows I like.
there's like a
right?
template
It's
they have
like
to follow.
Some drama, like TV series drama. It's like This Is Us or whatever. Like you say, oh, it's just I can't get. You're like I can't get into it because it's just the same formula over and over again. But to me, that can be comforting in like a TV series
Yeah.
or characters that you love or plot lines that you love or something. And it was comforting in some of the movies that did certain aspects better than others. But it was not in the other movies. So there was something I liked about that, especially when you're just kind of like
No, I think,
mindlessly watching TV.
I think that's part of the charm of these
And
films.
it just brings like Christmas.
That's right. I think it's part of the charms. I think you go in knowing that they hit this template. They're going to
Yeah.
be a little cheesy. They're all like G-rated type
Yes.
movies. You know it's going to follow a very similar archetype, like a very similar just script outline. But I think knowing that going in, you know what you're getting. It's not like some of these other like TV shows that you mentioned or other dramas or even romantic comedies, right? Where you're sitting there like, oh, what's going to be, are they going to do anything new or original or different? Or are they going to play the easy route, right? These Hallmark holiday movies, it's like, no, you need to follow this because,
This is a Hallmark movie.
yeah, we have to.
The setting might be different. Some of the characters might be different. But there is a prescripted formula.
Which we'll get to. One of the films we
There
talked
has to
about.
be like 2.5 black people in it.
Which we'll get there. Well, listen, they all
It's
take
like-
place in these Main Street USA towns
Right,
that just don't exist.
right.
Of just like a vibrant
And everything is
A
like
vibrant
perfect in the
community
towns.
downtown that
I
maybe
love it.
4,000 people live in this
I
town.
love that.
Yeah, no, it's nice and comforting, but it doesn't exist.
I know. I love it for like Christmas.
Yeah.
You know, like it's like walking into Disneyland. Everything is perfect. It's
But-
snowing. The lights are in the right place. The
Yeah, they all
trees
have
are
the
lit
annual
up.
Christmas tree lighting, which we noticed.
Yeah, they
movie
all have the
after
annual
movie.
Christmas tree lighting.
But no, everybody owns a coffee shop or a or a diner or a bakery or something. You know, or a little knick-knack shop or something, right? Or they have some sort of small family business. Family business seems to be a common thing around. Yeah, through a lot of them. But even the formula you want, and even when we get to, Hallmark did try something adventurous this year with the Sister Swap movies.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Which we'll get to that.
Well, there
eventually.
was a couple of adventurous things within that Sister Swap movie thing.
Well, they followed the formula, but...
There was a little more...
And for those who know, which we'll get to it, the Sister Swaps, it's 2 movies that kind of operate in parallel with one another about 2 sisters that switch spots. One lives in the city,
need to
one lives in
one
the small
before
town.
the other.
Yeah. I mean, they debuted that way.
Yeah.
One came out on one Sunday, the other one came out the next Sunday.
Gotcha.
But they overlap.
And they're real sisters in real life.
Yeah, they're real sisters.
The Williams.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we'll talk about it. But I'm saying that one's, at its core, kept to the formula, but strayed a bit with this weird format. And, you know, I think it hurt the Sister Swap films.
It did.
It got a little tiresome. So with that, which will be interesting to see if one of the Sister Swap movies makes it. But we're going to go take turns.
Okay.
Kind of just getting one movie off those, and we'll talk about the movies. They'll come up by title as we get them. And our goal, which we talked about over dinner, is we're creating a new Night Before podcast holiday favorite.
Holiday favorite that we'll watch next year again.
Out of these 10 we watch, we'll pick up 9 new ones next year.
But we'll
this one will stay.
rewatch this one. This one will become more of like a traditional Christmas movie that we watch.
Because a lot of backstory in this. The kind of thing that triggered all this is I have a current. It's not a Hallmark movie, but a holiday movie I love.
I do want all our listeners to know
that we watch
you are
every
the
year.
bigger Hallmark movie fan than I am.
I'm the one who made this happen.
Yes, absolutely. So.
There's a movie. It's actually an ABC Family movie starring Tom Cavanaugh. And one of the stars of Sister Swap, the movie, which...
I didn't realize this.
You didn't realize this? I thought you knew the whole time.
Ashley Williams?
Yeah, Ashley Williams, who stars in Sister Swap.
Oh, she's in Sister Swap.
She also stars in Snow.
In Snow, your favorite
My
Hallmark
favorite Christmas movie. It's not a Hallmark movie. It's a Christmas film about Santa Claus and reindeer. Okay. But it's an ABC Family, but it's still the same vein. So that's kind of what got this all started.
Oh, it's not a Hallmark movie.
It's ABC Family. That's why we didn't watch it. But we always watch that every year. So whatever we pick today, we'll add into that.
Have we watched it this year?
Yeah, we watched it right after Thanksgiving.
Oh, right. Sorry.
But pre-Hallmark Movie Marathon stuff.
Because you found it on...
So how'd it go? Did you find everything? Almost. I got a little distracted by the carolers and the window displays. Part of me feels like I should just stay here, even though I'm going to Paris right after Christmas. I don't know.
I'm going to say it again. I think you need to go through with the trip.
I mean, I love getting ready for Christmas with family, but I was just so relieved to be here.
Well, why don't you stay longer?
Really?
Yeah, stay as long as you want.
I mean, I can't miss Christmas in Hazelwood, but I would love it. I might have to borrow some clothes.
I love that you're even pretending to ask. You're wearing one of my sweaters.
What do you... That's better.
All right, so I will help with the sale of the Madison and help with Mom and Dad, and you just stay and take some space. I'm glad you're here.
So our goal, we're just going to each take turns. We're moving one off the list. We'll talk about it. If one of us doesn't feel ready to get rid of that one yet,
we'll save it.
We'll still talk about it.
We'll still talk about it, but we'll save it. It won't be next.
Yeah, we'll just say, I'm not ready to take that one off yet.
Okay.
And we have to agree here.
So are we starting with
the ones
we dislike
we're clearing the
most?
list.
Clearing the list. The ones we... So
and
who's going first?
I'm happy to start because I already got one I want to take. I want to get rid right away.
Okay. Go for it.
Okay. So again, we watched 10. We're getting it down to 1. So I think you just instantly go for the ones that were like either not as engaging, a bit boring, But I'm going to start with, I have to push my glasses up so I can see on my phone. I have a letterboxd.com account with all these movies listed. We made a playlist. So I'm going to get rid of The Christmas Contest, starring Candace Cameron Bure and John Brotherton.
Okay.
This is the one about, and I guess what we'll do is can introduce it a little bit.
Yeah, the
This
Christmas
is-
contest.
The one about Candace Cameron, which we all know from Full House.
Yeah.
And apparently she does a Hallmark movie every year, a Christmas one.
Okay, so this was really a highlighted one this year on Hallmark,
Well,
too,
'cause
because
she-
she's a bigger star.
Yeah.
She's a more well-known
This
star.
was one of the premiere ones.
So, of course, we had to watch it.
On a Sunday night or something.
Yeah.
And basically they had like some sort of previous relationship.
Yeah.
Candace Cameron and this John Brotherton character. Which, is he popular at all? I don't think so. He was in Guardians of the Galaxy, it says, but he plays like a sports. Was he like an ex-football player or something?
I don't remember.
They blur
but
together.
Yeah.
But
He's
here's-
famous. He was famous.
And so basically
in
they're
some
doing
way.
a local town competition.
competition. Yeah.
Of like Christmas for like a local TV station.
Yes.
And it's sort of like America's Got Talent type vibe.
Yeah, but local.
So I thought that part was neat, like a little different change.
Mm-hmm.
But they spent so much of the movie, the two of them kind of arguing
Yeah.
and like hashing out their past relationship drama. Spoiler alert, like it all works out in the end. Like
Of
they fall in
course.
love. That's how every
They
single
get
one of these.
together,
That's how every single one
you
of these
know.
does. So I just didn't click with me.
There's no spoilers in this episode.
No.
You know what's going to happen.
Every single movie.
Every single movie, it works out. The main man and the main woman get together.
They kiss.
They kiss at the end, only at the end.
They make the life-changing decision.
They make some life-changing decision in order to be together.
They leave the job they're not happy with. They take the new job.
So there's no spoilers. We all know this about them.
And
I
in
agree.
this one, neither one wins the contest. They both don't want to compete against each other.
Yeah.
And again, that makes them win.
I agree with you. The whole plot or concept of it is kind of lost within this, and I think Candace Cameron is kind of over the top ridiculous a little bit in it.
So the Christmas
I didn't like
contest
it.
is off.
No.
So I think that was the worst one we saw.
Yeah, I didn't like it.
And again, I'm going to say that there were plenty I liked on this out of these 10. I
Oh,
don't want
yeah,
people
me
to think
too.
this is just bashing Hallmark movies for 45 minutes.
No. Oh, we are not going
But
to
this
be
one,
that.
there's a couple I checked out of. This is one I checked out of.
Yeah.
All right, so the Christmas contest off the list.
Okay. So
I know which one you're going to pick, but go on.
you do?
No,
Are
I'm
you
just-
looking?
No.
Okay.
But I'm looking at the list. I know which one you're going to pick.
Okay. The one I'm going to pick next is Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas.
Yeah.
This one was difficult for me because even though I watched it very intently, without even falling asleep, I think, because I thought I wasn't sure where they were going with it.
Time for us to come home for Christmas?
Time for us to come home for Christmas. See, listeners.
No, we'll get to that in a minute when we get to the other ones.
Okay. Time for us to come home for Christmas.
I'll read how about this? We can read the little.
First of all, the actress is. I mean, I don't want to woman bash because I only want to lift people up. But
Well,
I had a
Lacey-
hard time with Lacey.
Shabert.
Shabert.
Who's from Mean Girls. She's one of the stars of Mean Girls.
Yeah.
The film from, a decade ago? But she does do a lot of Hallmark Christmas movies.
Okay, to me, sorry,
She'll show
Lacey,
up again. She'll show up again.
but she is the worst Hallmark actress, main actress.
See,
She's difficult for me to continue watching. Now, maybe it's because we watched 2 movies with her
well,
in
that's what I'm
it.
saying. She's going to show up again. And we see her in a lot of commercials for other Hallmark holiday movies.
And I'm like, nope. When we
See-
see another one, I'm like, nope,
see, to
can't
me,
do it.
she's part of the comfort
No,
of the Hallmark movies.
she's not
I
comforting.
want to see Lacey.
I don't want to see Lacey.
I'm not going to say let's hold off on that one, but
No way. Yeah, no, we're nixing this one. Here's the thing. Okay, but here's the thing. Read the
synopsis.
summary.
Yeah, because on letterboxd.com, where I kept a list of all this, they give us a quick little 2-sentence breakdown. Time for Us to Come Home for Christmas. This came out in 2020, so it's one of last year's films.
Mm-hmm.
5 guests are mysteriously invited to an inn to celebrate Christmas. With the help of the owner, Ben, Sarah discovers that an event from the past may connect them and change their lives forever.
Okay.
So it's one of those
The reason they're all
mysterious people are brought.
mysteriously invited is not life-changing at all. And you're wanting it to be much more exciting than it is. And when you find out the reason, you're kind of like, that's it? That's it?
Yeah.
So I really kind of enjoyed the scenery of the movie, and I enjoyed it.
Yeah, because it's in a remote, bed and breakfast.
Bed and breakfast.
In the mountains, snows.
And I enjoyed the your typical baking montage, and we're making gingerbread cookies, and we're decorating the tree, and this and that. And it's almost anyway. But I had a hard time with that one. That was probably my least favorite one.
Yeah, also the thing I did like about it, where a lot of times these movies just focus on one or two, the man and the woman, and their sort of path. This focused on a number of little relationships.
It did.
Because the 5 strangers, right?
Right.
They all had a reason that they were brought there.
Mm-hmm.
So that part was nice, but I have no problem
nixing that one.
Time for Us to Come Home.
Okay, good.
For Christmas. All right, I'm looking at the list here. And so we've gotten 2 down pretty easily.
Yes.
The next one I'm going to do is Christmas in Tahoe, which is another 2021 film. What makes this one interesting, and that they tell you repeatedly, is Pat Monahan
Oh, yeah.
is on this, and he was the singer for the band Train.
And George Lopez is in it.
George Lopez is in it as well. And this one, the thing says, shake up Christmas with some romance. To save her family's hotel show, talent booker Claire must ask for help from her ex-boyfriend Ryan, the lead guitarist of a now famous band that fired her as their manager years ago. Just say the synopsis of these films is just ridiculous.
It does sound ridiculous, but I actually liked this one. This was one of my. It's not my top, so I'll let you nix it.
It's not. I did not like it. I enjoyed this one a lot.
It was one I enjoyed more.
The first part was hokey.
I thought the acting was better in it.
Yeah.
I thought.
It had decent music.
Her trying to plan this big event and people canceling. I thought it was more interesting than some of the others. There was more to it than just the love affair.
I'd say as a cast, I'm going to give you this. As a cast, it's pretty good. Should I take my pick and say, let's save this one? No, I won't do that.
I liked this one, Christmas in Tahoe.
It had a good cast. This might have one of the best casts.
Yeah.
That we have.
I liked the main girl.
The main girl, the main guy,
even
though he was a little dweebish and he wasn't believable as this rock star guy.
No, he wasn't.
But I think what hurt this one was the faux pentatonics band.
Oh yeah,
that was in there.
That was
because they had to set up this variety holiday show.
Yeah, that was weird that they did that.
The faux comedian woman.
That was kind of funny though. I got into that part.
It was not funny.
Where they were pretending to bring her room service.
No,
and,
that part. I'm saying when she got up there
her...
and did her bit.
Oh yeah, no, her bit wasn't funny.
I'm like, this is the great comedian making jokes about Santa Claus.
I felt there was more going on to keep your interest in this one. I did. I thought it was cheesy, the Pat Monahan, whatever.
But all I kept waiting for is when is he going to sing?
That was cheesy.
And he sounded great.
And his acting wasn't terrible. I mean, it was Hallmark movie worthy.
Yeah. Yeah, this one, it was like the first half felt kind of corny and silly, but you got into it by the end.
I was into it.
Yeah.
I was into this one.
And again, it's one of those
I didn't remember that the name of it was Crispin and
she wants the
Tahoe.
big job in Vegas.
Yeah.
And so she's always like pushing for the big Vegas job.
Mm-hmm.
But then she's leaving the family business of the hotel here, which is a successful like winter lodge hotel.
Yeah, in Tahoe.
And she's like, this isn't big enough for me. I got to go to Vegas, baby.
Well, she's trying to push her way up to the top. Yeah.
Got to go to Vegas, baby. But then, of course, right? She's like, oh, I'll stay here and
she falls back in love with her past
rekindle with
flame.
but the guy in the band. But then he's ready to move on from his successful rock band
To settle down.
and to write his own solo music.
Right.
And then Pat Monahan is the guy who works the like concierge type. I don't know. He seems like a concierge. I don't quite know what he does in
He's
the
like
hotel.
an event planner, I guess. Or,
Maybe. But now he's going to go on
You
the
don't know what
road
he
with the
does.
band.
yeah, because
So-
he secretly is like a guitar player that they all discover.
He was in
is
Train.
Like, I know. No, I know.
I'm saying
but
in this movie world,
yeah,
he was in Train.
Yeah.
So though Christmas in Tahoe, it got
I can't
better.
believe that was like the second one you nixed.
Listen, I got some favorites on here.
I mean, that was one of my favorites.
It was a surprise. An hour in, I was like, this one's not going to be fun. And the second half, I really liked
There are
it.
way worse ones.
Nope.
I'm just saying, there are way worse ones.
All right, so Christmas in Tahoe is not going to be an annual
All
favorite.
right, it's not.
All right, next on our list.
Okay. The
We
next
still got-
one
we
I'm
still got-
going to nix.
We still got 7 holiday movies.
I'm going to go with Christmas at Castle Heart.
I knew you would. That's why I didn't pick it last pick, because I know anything with my girl Lacey in it is on the chopping block.
That's true. I feel like a bully.
Lacey's back.
Oh my God, I feel
This
like a
one I
bully.
thought was really good.
I didn't like it. Read the synopsis real quick.
A lot can happen on the way to Ever After. This is a 2021 film.
I like the tagline.
Brooke Bennett goes to Ireland for Christmas to search for her Irish roots. That's Lacey's character
Right.
from Mean Girls and the previous Christmas movie we talked about. While there, she meets Aidan Hart, Earl
Of glass.
of Glasgow.
Wow.
Glasgow. I have to move my glasses up. Mistaken for an elite event planner, she's hired to host his castle's epic Christmas party.
I didn't like this one.
This one?
It bored me. I thought it was boring. And I felt like they were so stuck up because so she planned the party, then they found out she wasn't elite. And they were like, oh,
Well,
she's not elite.
the whole movie. Well, it's not
And
that
it's
she's
kind of
not. No,
like-
it's not that she's not even elite. She's a waitress in New York City.
Right.
So the whole movie, there's the tension that she's not who she says she is.
Right. And
That
she's
she's an
falling
imposter.
in love with the guy, too.
Yeah, she falls in love with the Earl or whatever he is. He seems a bit too old for her, in my opinion. But but this is all about her proving herself, but then also worrying about being exposed. And yes,
But she
this
just, like, lied the whole
this
time.
kind of upper class, royal Irish family, whatever you want to call it,
Snooty.
they're snooty and uptight. But then that's the change you see, right? They come to love and embrace her, even though they
She
learn
lied.
she's not who she is.
But she threw a good party.
And that's, yeah, so I mean, it all works out in the end.
But that's all it was.
And
There was nothing
I know, I
else.
know, I
It
know.
was very like, you know. I mean, you know what's going to happen in all of them, but there was nothing else. No other like storyline. It was just, I didn't like that one at all. And maybe it was partly Lacey. Maybe it was partly just it just seemed.
I like the far-fetchedness of it all. Right? The Lacey girl and her sister go to Ireland, go to some pub. At the pub, the lady running the pub, introduces them to the guy and then the cast. Like it's all very circumstantial and it all works
Right.
out. It also happens that the person that that they meet at the pub initially, she's related to him. That's like her aunt.
Yes.
You find that at the very end.
Right. Yeah,
so that
I
was
remember
fun.
that.
Like I said, this was just far-fetched.
It was so far-fetched.
But I thought the setting was, this one's set in like the Irish countryside. It was different.
Okay, I respect your opinion. It was one of my least favorite ones, though.
And I'll be honest, what was this called? Christmas at Castle HART? This is the one that really spearheaded our whole Hallmark Marathon. This is like the first one we saw.
Well, I was betting that there was going to be better ones.
And I was like, oh, there's some good stuff. If they're this good, if this is where Hallmark is in 2021, we're on it. But I think the biggest thing on this that why I won't fight for it is not only that our girl Lacey shows up, but Stuart Townsend, who is
the Earl.
The Earl, her love interest. I just didn't quite buy their
relationship.
Yeah. Like I said, he seemed a bit older for her. All that.
You can't keep me here. I have to do this.
What's going on?
They told me you left.
I was just about to. Where are you going? Nowhere.
I can't just sit here and wait for somebody to find me. I've tried that and it's not working.
Releasing you in your current condition is not in your best interest.
Before I fell in that water, I was on my way to the tree lighting ceremony. I will find my answers there. I know I will. And you were the one that told me I need to surround myself with familiar things. I can't do that here. Christmas Eve is in 2 days. I can't wait any longer.
How do you expect to get there? South Carolina is a long way.
I will pawn my watch. Buy plane ticket.
They will never let you on the flight. You don't have ID.
I will find a way. That is where I was going, and that is where I will go.
Time for them to come home for Christmas.
So we've gotten rid of the Christmas contest, Christmas in Tahoe,
Christmas at Castle HART.
and then time for us to come home for Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
It's funny, you went both after hers. All right, I'm going to get this spicy and get this going. There's kind of two I'm ready to cut. Mm-hmm. And the order doesn't really matter, but just to give one of your hopefuls a little more time, I'll leave it alone for now. But
how do you know what one of my hopefuls?
I have an assumption. I'll see.
Okay.
But the one I want to get rid of first is Sister Swap, Christmas in the City. The second.
That's the one I was going to go for.
The second Sister Swap.
Exactly, yes. The second one was worse than the first one, for sure.
And
now, here's the question. Was the second one worse than the first one because we already seen half the story?
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
it's not as good for two reasons.
From a different perspective, but
So Sister Swap, we talked about this at the top of the episode. This is a newer film. This is part 2 in the Sister Swap story.
Mm-hmm.
This one says, where there's a will, there's a sister. Jennifer and Meg Swift are two sisters who are very close despite living far apart. They don't live far apart. They live an hour away.
They live an hour away from each other.
Jennifer is in Salt Lake City running a successful restaurant. She started with her late husband and raising her teenage son, Simon. Meg stayed in their hometown of Hazelwood, helping their parents run the local bakery. And again, like you mentioned, this is the two sisters, Ashley Williams and Kimberly Williams Paisley.
Yes.
And this focus.
Real sisters in real life.
Real sisters in real life. Sisters in this movie. And
so Ashley Williams lives in the country.
Hazelwood.
It's not really.
Small
Hazelwood,
town.
small town. And Kimberly Williams Paisley lives in the city. And
so they
then
switch spots.
They switch spots. Just kind of, she's visiting her parents in the small town. And Ashley goes to the city to kind of help to kind of find what her next step is.
She's not sure what her next step is in life.
And I guess to help with the restaurant that her sister typically runs.
No, she just sort of stepped in because the restaurant started running into little problems.
Okay.
The chef quit. They have this fundraiser event coming up. And so she just sort of steps in like, hey, sis, while you're away at home, I'm just hanging out in Salt Lake City. I don't mind helping with the restaurant because I run a coffee shop bakery at home.
Right.
And the restaurant that her sister runs in Salt Lake City.
It's like a bigger deal.
It's a restaurant, but it's more of a fancy soup and salad and coffee place.
Yeah.
It's not like a. So anyway. So yeah, I think this
it's not
one.
like a 5-star restaurant in this city.
And then there's this whole other plot going on that they're trying to save the family movie theater or sell the family movie theater. Because the uncle
has died.
Who's played by Kevin Nealon. Which I
you
somehow
didn't realize
missed.
till part 2.
No, the end of part 1.
Even though there was photographs of him throughout part 1.
But part 2, he has speaking parts.
I know, but there was
in
like
flashbacks.
Pictures of him in part 1.
Yeah. So all that's very engaging and intriguing. I think overall the Sister Swap movie is good. It just doesn't need to be a 4-hour movie because that's in essence what this was.
Yeah.
Part 1 and part 2. Part 2 does suffer because it retraces, though from different angles sometimes, what happened in the first movie.
It does from the different point of view, but it's still the same story.
Yeah, because part 1, there's a couple scenes that carry over. Initially, I thought this was a neat idea. Like if the sister who's visiting the parents in Hazelwood is on the phone with the other sister in Salt Lake City.
They did all that.
You see the same scene in both
movies. They did that.
Yeah, but you see it from the different sides.
What it was boring.
It's a little like,
Here's the thing, though. I'm going to say this.
This
could be controversial for you as much as you love snow. But Kimberly Williams Paisley is a much better actress than Ashley Williams.
Yes.
Unfortunately.
Well,
I mean, she is.
The
Ashley Williams is too excited.
She was constantly excited.
Constantly
a little too
happy,
giddy.
Too giddy. Too smiley. Too much.
Too emotional roller coaster.
Too unrealistic. It's like she's bipolar.
Well, she had moments where she got really sad and depressed real quick, too.
Yeah, she was bipolar. And we're not making a joke about
Did
bipolar
you notice she did a weird
all.
thing with her hands whenever she talked and was thinking? She did this sort of like,
I
she
did
touched
not
each
notice
finger with
that.
her thumb. She did
I
it multiple
guess that's
scenes.
good acting if you notice that.
She did it multiple times. Or it just could be a personality trait she does, a quirk that she does. So, no, that was my second
I
point.
don't know if they were trying to portray her as being like ADHD.
No,
like,
no.
I think they were.
No,
like
I think
quirky,
she's the more
hyper younger sister.
She's the quirky, outgoing sister who is adventurous and not willing to kind of take that chance. And the older sister is a little more reserved and conservative. And they bring out the best in each other. They say that repeatedly. But no, my second point was what hurt Sister Swap. What was this one? Christmas in the City. Was I felt the city storyline wasn't as intriguing.
No, it wasn't.
She has a love interest as well. It's a very similar plots in the two movies. And Ashley Williams, though I loved her in Snow, and I love her in the other Sister Swap movie, this was a little too much.
Too much Ashley.
She was a little over the top.
And here's the thing I
had trouble keeping up with her.
I realized that.
So as much as it pains me, Sister Swap Christmas in the City.
I do like.
But you're waiting for the last 20 minutes because you want to see what happens to the theater, the Madison, and Kevin Nealon's legacy in the family.
The theater plot line. Hold on. I like the theater plot line a lot. Yeah, you want to know what happens to that. You want to.
Okay.
I was looking something up, but I can't
find it. So,
we'll
get back to the other Williams sister because we still have another Sister Swap film.
So, we're not talking about Kimberly?
We can. I'm saying we still have more Sister Swap.
The Christmas in the City one, though, part of the plot line was that they were... This I thought was intriguing, where I think Hallmark went off there. I think the Williams sisters had more, like, producing part of it.
Okay, yeah.
because they mimicked Kimberly Williams Paisley and her husband. The Christmas in the City plotline was that they were trying to donate all this money to this kind of not a homeless shelter, but a homeless, like where they give food and clothes and stuff to the needy. They wanted to open it up as more of like a grocery store where the homeless can come and grocery shop. Well, that's what Brad Paisley and Kimberly Williams Paisley opened, a grocery store where everything is free in real life.
Yeah.
So they brought that from like their real life into the Hallmark movie, which I thought was interesting. I did like that part of it.
Okay.
But, which I think went off the Hallmark formula in a way.
Yeah, sure.
Of that.
But it was still the same at the same time.
It was still the same, yeah. But, they did take from their own real life,
Yeah. No, I think just what hurt this one was it was more of the same. But again, I think the challenge, it was cool that they tried to do this weird double feature deal. But it did feel, and then we didn't watch them back to back. We watched them days apart. But we watched the Sister Swap last night. It did feel a little like
repetitious, boring.
Okay, come on.
Yeah.
Come on.
Finally, like an hour in, you're like, okay, now we're to the like.
No, it wasn't an hour. It's like an hour and 45 minutes.
Hour and 45 minutes. Now we're to the part of the movie that you wanted to watch.
The plot picks up.
To like wrap it up.
What are you getting ready next?
Sister Swap. Sister Swap.
The other
one. Yeah.
Listen, we've talked a lot about Sister Swap. A hometown holiday. We're going to pause on that one.
We're going to pause on that
Yeah,
one?
we are.
Oh, no.
Just because the second one wasn't great doesn't mean the first one wasn't great. Just because the second one wasn't great doesn't mean the first one wasn't great either. Yeah. No, I think. So
you're going to pause on that?
Yeah, because I think, like you said, I think the Kimberly Williams Paisley, her character and her son dynamic is really good. And the son wanting to... All the elements of a good Hallmark movie are in that film.
So are we going to talk about that one right now, or we're going to pause on
We've
that?
already talked about Sister Swap a bit.
Can we talk about the teenage son for a second?
Sure, Simon.
I do love that name, Simon. Yeah. But he's not a real teenager. We all know this.
No, of course he's not. But these aren't real people.
I know.
Character types in these movies in general. But
it's too perfect of a teenager.
No, but I thought this was good, and it's funny they give the exact same synopsis for the
for
hometown holiday.
Yeah.
But no, a lot of the same characters. I even thought the Kimberly Williams Paisley love interest in this one was better as well. Mark Declan is the actor's name. And he's sort of like the local contractor who was helping restore the theater.
I did like that. There were a lot of things I liked about it.
He's hesitant to get in the relationship. I thought the family dynamic. Again, this played into the small town part of it instead of the big city, Salt Lake City part, right?
Yeah. Okay, we'll
so
pause it.
We'll pause on that one, but I'll let you pick another one to cross off.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'll go with Time for Them to Come Home for the Holidays. Time for them to come home for the holidays.
I was going to get that one next.
And I liked this one. Actually, I'm getting down to the ones I liked. Like, it's hard for me to take any of them off now.
So the funny part about this one, as you said earlier, we only watched 2 of them, but there are 3 Hallmark films that have very, very similar titles. So much so that we were confused.
Yeah.
We've already crossed off the list Time for
us to come home for the holidays.
For Christmas.
For Christmas.
This one's called Time for Them
to come home for Christmas. And they are not related.
They're completely different.
All.
And there's one other one, I can't quite remember the title, but it's in that same, they changed that pronoun.
Right.
So this is vastly different. It says, let your heart lead you home during the holidays.
I really liked this one, but if I had to pick the next one to take off, this would be it. If I can't take the other Sister Swap. I like this one more than the Sister Swap in the Hazelwood. Sister Swap, Small Town.
Yeah.
Because I think this was intriguing because
It's an amnesia story.
It's an amnesia story.
Which is like daytime soap opera.
Yeah, it was fun.
Because people don't actually have amnesia.
They do. I think they do. I think it is a medical condition, but I mean, it's very unrealistic how she even gets amnesia and how she looks once she's in the hospital because she's basically got hit by a car.
A woman with amnesia catches a ride with her handsome nurse to investigate the only clue to her identity, a newspaper clipping for a Christmas festival with a cryptic invitation.
So she gets hit by a car and
2021.
basically like is trying to avoid the car, but she ends up in the hospital because she's going to this small town and you don't really know why. Or no, she's flying out somewhere, but it's too snowy or something. So she ends up in this small town.
She stops for a piece of pie,
Stops for a piece of pie at a
walks
diner.
across a snowy bridge, and gets hit by a car.
She ends up in the hospital, no bruises.
Yeah.
She looks perfect.
I know, I think you're focusing on the wrong things, but
I
go
know.
on.
But it's funny. I think it's funny.
Sure.
And she has amnesia, and she catches a ride home with a very good-looking nurse guy. And
Well, a ride home. She's in the hospital. She's heading back to wherever she's trying to...
heading back because they find a note that says, "Meet me at the Christmas tree lighting." Sorry.
This nurse just, they're going on this
Happens to
trip
be
together.
going in the same place.
Yeah.
So she catches a ride with him.
No, that's one thing about the nurse played by Brendan Penning, which I haven't really seen him in anything. I just felt that he just wasn't a great leading man in this type thing.
I liked him.
I felt he was a little too,
I liked him.
I don't know, just a little too absent-minded, or I don't know. There was something about him. He was just this like pushover type of guy.
Yeah.
Not that you need like a macho guy, but he's like, oh, okay, all right.
I liked it.
I'm going to drop you off now. Never see. Hope you
I
find
thought
your
the
memories.
the acting was better in it. I
Jessie
thought it was
Schramm.
less cheesy.
Jessie Schramm, who is also a reoccurring Hallmark holiday actress. She's in a lot of these films. And this was sort of her 2021 film for Hallmark this year. But she's been in a number of them as well.
I like her. I liked the main guy. I thought the acting was less like cringy and cheesy than other movies. And I liked the plot line. I got into it. I'm just saying. I got into it. So,
right.
but I'm nixing it right now. It's
And
gone.
like I said,
because it wasn't my favorite, but I did like it.
If we get others, we'll pile them up to once another. But the next one I'm going to go with is the other one we saw last night. Was 'Tis the Season to Be Merry, starring Rachel Lee Cook,
right?
Which I'm a big fan of. She's All That.
Okay.
Josie and the Pussycats. Kind of a big actor in the late 90s, early 2000s, like teen movies. Now she's all grown up and does Hallmark holiday movies instead. But this one is a new film this year. The Book of Love gets a rewrite. Looking for a fresh angle to her book on relationships, Mary. Her name is Mary, M-E-R-R-Y.
I know, I saw
I didn't pick that up on that.
I picked it up.
Mary heads to snow-covered... But I'm thinking about the title, 'Tis the Season to Be Merry. 'Tis the season to be her?
I guess. I don't know.
Mary heads to snow-covered Vermont. She finds a new prospect and Christmas cheer with charismatic aid worker Chris.
Aid worker, okay.
Well, he's this
Yeah. He goes to like different countries
Peace
and
Corps
helps.
type
Yeah.
rich kid.
So I got into this movie, but there were a lot of reasons I didn't like it. But
Okay.
I was totally engrossed, although I might have gotten sleepy during some parts of it. But that's only because of all the commercials, and it lasts for 2 hours. I mean, like...
Well, they're hour and a
all of
half
these
movies
because of the
with
commercials.
commercial breaks.
Um,
But I think that's part of the joy of the whole
I did
thing.
get into it. I didn't love her as a leading actress,
Well, she was Rachel Lee Cook being Rachel Lee Cook. Like,
Yeah.
I kept seeing glimpses of like, oh, that's how she was in
And
She's
I
All That
didn't
in
see,
1999.
like, a real, even though they like ended up together at the end, they've never seemed like a real connection throughout the movie.
Yeah. Well, is that like, oh, I'm going to maybe go off, oh, you're not interested, you're not ready to commit, I'm going to go off with this other guy.
It seemed weird
But that was the other part of
to
this
like
movie.
make a life decision to be together when you kind of act like you didn't really like each other at all.
She's a writer, and this is another one of those imposter stories.
Yeah.
Right? She's written her next book that she's found love. She writes the rules of love. And if you follow these rules of love, you'll find the perfect match. The reality is she writes it
imaginary,
and it's not real. So now she's forced by her publisher to either come up with a new idea or else. And so what she learns is, oh, there are no rules to love. And you just have to be open to it and you'll find love and love will find you. And that's what happens.
And she came up with a new book idea in the end.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a ridiculous plot line. The guy was good looking and a good leading guy. She was mediocre. They didn't seem to click with each other on screen. But, you know, I would get rid of it. That's a good
I mean, like I said, I was intrigued because Rachel Lee Cook was in it.
Yeah.
And then once I kind of got over the Rachel Lee Cook, I checked out a little bit. And so...
I feel like you checked out a lot on that one.
Yeah, that one. I mean, some of them you know where it's going, and I'm like, okay.
You know where
I got
they're all
things.
going.
I got some things to do for this movie.
But
All right.
yeah, it wasn't great.
So what are you getting rid of next?
Okay, so what do I have left? So we still have Sister Swap in.
We have Crown for Christmas.
In Hazelwood.
My Family Tree.
My Family Tree. We have Crown for Christmas.
And My Family Tree.
And My Family Tree.
And then the Sister Swap. Hometown Holiday.
All right, well, I'm going to have to go with...
So out of those three, we already know how you feel about Sister Swap. I'm here. I say we chose like.
This is where we choose the top one.
Not top one. I think it's... out of the two that you haven't talked about yet.
Neither of us got rid of My Christmas Family Tree or A Crown for Christmas.
I know. Which out of those two is basically I'm looking at it this way. Which one can you convince me is better than Sister Swap? Because I'm going to tell you right now. Well, yeah, I won't tell you right now.
Which one I can convince you is better than Sister Swap?
So basically we have Crown for Christmas, which stars Winnie Cooper from the Wonder Years show.
Yeah.
But it's Allie Foster, a struggling New York artist, reluctantly accepts to act as a governess to a rebellious Princess Theodore of Windsheimer. When Allie forms an unlikely bond with the princess, she attracts the attentions of the handsome King Maximilian, who's facing an arranged marriage against his heart's wishes. As Christmas Eve draws near, Allie finds herself swept up in romance, royalty, and the spirit of the holidays. That's an older film. It's 2015.
Okay.
Or My Family Christmas Tree. There's always room for more family. When Vanessa receives the results from her family DNA test, she discovers a family she didn't even know existed and travels to their home for Christmas.
I like them both. I like them both for very different reasons. One's more in reality, and I say that with quotes around it,
The
like
family
the
tree
family
one.
Christmas tree, because people do those DNA tests.
It's like a thing right now.
It's a thing right now.
Mhm.
Not the Everly, the 21.
Yeah, we know
whatever.
we know the test.
The male things. So that's grounded in more reality. And I liked the actress, the main actress in My Family Christmas Tree a lot.
Yes. Best acting
I did.
performance on all these films probably was
What's her name?
My Christmas Family Tree. Amy Teagarden.
Tea Garden. I wonder what she's been in.
She's been, she's just been in like some horror movies and comedies. Nothing spectacular.
Anyway, so I enjoyed that, and the guy, he was okay. Like, he was fine.
He's a little stiff.
Yeah, he was a little stiff. He was a little bit of a wuss, too. You want to say, like, a pushover.
Oh, he was.
He was definitely a pushover.
And then the Winnie Cooper one.
The Winnie Cooper is a good actress. She nailed that role, and the prince or king or Maximilian, he played a good royal. I mean, he looks like a royal. And the daughter, I thought, did well in her role. Like, and I'm getting rid of my family Christmas tree.
What?
That's what I'm getting rid of.
So you'd rather watch every year a Crown for Christmas?
100%.
I think my Christmas Family Tree is the better film.
I disagree.
They have the family. It's another imposter movie.
Another imposter movie. Exactly.
Because it turns out very early on. This is what's hilarious about this movie. It turns out very early on
that the DNA test is wrong.
The DNA was wrong, and this is not her family. Though she comes and just like becomes a part of this family like that.
Immediately.
She gets the results. I need to see my dad I never met.
Her.
And I just love the whole intriguing backstory. The dad who is like, oh, okay. I guess I have a daughter from 20 years ago. And he's like rummaging through boxes of pictures. Like, I probably have a picture of your mom somewhere. And just the guy's wife, he's like, hey, what's his is mine and what's mine is his. So you're my daughter too, I guess. If he has random kids running around here, cool, right? And my favorite part is the story about how she came to be. The dad's like, I was walking one day and my hat got blown off my head. And your mom picked it up. Next thing I know, there was you.
I was like,
wow.
That was easy.
And Dad, and his wife's just like, yep.
Yep, that's what happened to me
Dad.
too.
That's Dad.
That's Dad. He just slips it in wherever he can,
he?
he?
Listen, I don't know why. These are G-rated shows. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, but then there's a whole nother plot twist later. This is like, oh no, actually, you are our daughter.
Yeah.
Because I found that picture and that's your mom.
And at the same time, of course, there has to be a love interest.
Yeah.
So she's falling in love with the family friend that drove her to the...
Well, the family friend they've kind of adopted, not officially adopted, but they've taken this other...
Because his...
person under their wing.
Parents died or
his
something.
parents died when he was in high school or college or something like that. And they've kind of been his second family.
Right.
So this family already has a habit of just taking in people and, being very open and accepting. So I just thought that was fun. And so it's very dramatic, but it's that same. So here's what I would suggest. Where?
Okay, but we haven't even talked about A Crown for Christmas yet.
Make the case.
Well, let me see your phone. No, I can use your phone.
We're just looking at we've already read the synopsis.
I know.
It's about Maximilian and princesses.
This movie was what you want out of a Hallmark movie.
This is the Cinderella story.
This is the Cinderella story / Sound of Music.
Okay.
It is, without the musical part. Because it's the nanny, like she comes over, she is the nanny, she kind of relates to the child, and they become, I like the relationship between her and the kid, she's silly with the little girl. I just loved all of that, was really like heartwarming, and it seemed realistic too, and then there was like the mom that had passed away.
And the man in power gets the woman, the servant girl.
What?
Maximilian.
Well,
the prince, the man in power, He falls in love for the homely, small, the servant girl.
Yeah, but he's
The
being
quote
forced.
governess.
He's being forced into a marriage that he doesn't want with this kind of uppity girl. But he chooses someone that makes him happy and makes his daughter happy and that he could see building a life with
I'm
over.
sorry. He's the king. He's King Maximilian. I'm sorry.
Yes. So I think it was like a Christmas fairy tale / like Sound of Music type movie, and I thought it was timeless.
This was a pre-Me Too. This is 2015.
But I liked that in it. I didn't think there was anything degrading about it.
No. I'm just saying it's this idea of the he's the king. He's the higher status. She is. What was her role? What's her real job again? An artist.
She's
a struggling artist.
Yeah.
And it's sort of the rags to riches.
So she goes over because she's trying to help her
Yeah.
family. She's basically in charge of supporting her siblings.
Well, she gets fired at the beginning of the movie.
Yes.
They feel because she's working. She's not only a struggling artist.
And
She works.
he doesn't necessarily bring her over. The butler brings her over.
No,
he doesn't know.
His request is the butler brings over. She gets fired because she's a maid in a hotel. A watch gets misplaced. She's accused because she's the help of stealing it.
Yeah.
The king wants to just pay her, to give her money. He knows the watch shows up, whatever.
He feels bad.
And then that shows up again later at the end of the movie with the stolen wedding ring.
Right.
That same plot line. And the butler, feeling bad, offers her the job of the governess as well, which is another thing. Again, it's not a bad movie.
I loved it.
I just feel like
It was my favorite Hallmark movie. I mean,
here's what I would pitch.
I think that
My favorite was Sister Swap, Hometown Holiday.
they're all somewhat sexist. All of them.
Agreed, but
I mean, you can't. That's not it. Don't go towards that.
No, I'm just saying this whole royal
They all
family.
like
Here's the
the-
thing. I like the more down-to-earth folks, right? Now, granted, the families in Sister Swap Hometown Holiday, yeah, they're the town elite.
Oh yeah.
They own the movie
It's not
theater.
realistic.
They own the movie theater. They own the hottest
Bakery.
coffee shop bakery in town. The
Live
father,
in the perfect town.
the father runs the Christmas tree lighting. Like they run that town, no question. I would suggest then we meet in the middle. My Christmas Family Tree is our film because it's fun, it's rewatchable.
I
it's
did
heartwarming.
like it. I did like it.
But it doesn't. We both kind of pick more.
It's true. We're gonna have to
niche,
watch it
extreme
together
movies,
every
yeah.
year.
And I think we settle because I would go for the fun. I like the fun, quirky
So
charm.
is your top, are you being manipulative? Is your top pick the Sister Swap movie?
Yes, 100%.
Okay. If your top pick is
Partly
Sister
because-
Swap, I do not want to watch that one
Partly
again.
because of Kimberly, Ashley Williams, the
You
Snow
love
connection.
women named Ashley. Have you noticed that?
No,
Ashley Judd, Ashley Williams.
2.
Yeah.
No, but the point is, yes, I enjoy her. I enjoy the performances in Sister Swap. She's fun in small doses, and that's what you get in her in
Very
this.
small doses.
And I like the quirkiness of this, probably for the reasons you like the Cinderella story
Probably,
of
you're
Crown
right.
for
Probably
Christmas.
for the same reasons. Yeah.
But I think one that I can also be happy with is My Christmas Family Tree. Can be
Okay.
our film.
I agree.
was-
I don't want to watch Sister Swap again.
Although I will be honest, we'll probably see it again next year.
We'll see about that.
You can leave the room. I'm hoping there's a third one because Sister Swap
We need to see what happens
No,
with the
didn't-
movie theater restaurant.
wasn't that the one it said. I think it is when it ended because now Sister Swap ended and their Sister Swap ended and they're gonna open they're
The
staying to go in business together.
movie
They're gonna
theater
run
restaurant.
they're gonna run the restaurant in Salt Lake City. They're going to renovate the movie theater and open a restaurant
There'll be a third.
in the basement.
Part
No.
3.
But it ended with said, the end. Or is that the other movie? Which one ended with saying, the end, and then it changed screen and it said, is just the beginning? That was
Sister
either
Swap.
Sister Swap or it was 'Tis the Season to Be Merry.
No, I think it was Sister Swap.
If that was, I'd be excited for a third Sister Swap next year.
Okay, but that said,
And then that might win next year's talk.
I will settle with My Christmas Family Tree.
So
as
our
being
Hallmark movie for the holidays is My Christmas Family
I
Tree.
enjoyed the actress. I enjoyed the dad in that movie. The kids were kind of annoying, but the dad of and the love interest was a little.
Oh, he was so like he didn't know
Stiff.
what to do. He didn't know what to do.
It was a little wussy, but I
He
liked
was-
her. She was the best Hallmark actress.
I just love how she like just kind of swooped in and took over that family. Like
Yeah.
again, remember the kids hated her at first?
And
They're
she
giving her like the
worked-
stink
she
eye.
worked all of them.
And then because of her parents were in like dad couldn't tie angel wings on the youngest daughter and she
Couldn't
swooped in
like
and did
slip
it.
over the elastic over her arm.
And I thought it was weird or interesting. They're like a Swedish. They're from Sweden, right? The family. They're like Norwegian or Swedish.
Something Norwegian, maybe. Yeah.
They talk about that at some
Yeah.
point when the whole family shows up, and I was like, oh, that's an interesting.
All right, we'll go with that. That's a good compromise since we didn't land on the same one as being our favorite. And that was definitely our number 2. Both of ours number 2.
It was definitely our number 2s.
So we'll land on that as being the top.
So you have a family. What are they like?
You know what? Why don't you find out for yourself? How about you come spend Christmas holidays with us?
Oh no, you don't have to do that.
No, I think it's the perfect time to meet everyone. The whole extended family's going to be there. If you came up on the Saturday, you could spend a few days getting to know the kids, and then the whole family will arrive Christmas Eve.
I don't have a car and I can't leave my dog alone.
That's okay. We have a friend, Christopher, a family friend who's driving up. You can catch a ride with him, and just bring the dog.
Are you really sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I think I would like the opportunity to get to know you more when my toes aren't so numb.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Yeah.
So that's our Hallmark for the holidays. So we'll see if this one holds up for next year. We get to watch that one again, and if you made it this far, we encourage you to like a
watch.
search for Hallmark films and watch that's one we're endorsing.
It's really a fun.
My Christmas
I
Family
think it's
Tree.
a fun holiday tradition to watch Hallmark movies in the month of December. Our kids didn't really get into any of it at all,
Well, I wouldn't even expect them to.
but they're kid friendly. You could have them playing during the day. You know.
I always like to, we'll end on this. I always like, I don't always do this. I'll pick 3 from letterbox.com where we keep track of these films. I always like to read reviews.
Oh, right.
This one has an average user review of 3.1, which is pretty good.
Okay.
But I'll read the first 3 one-sentence reviews for this.
For My Christmas Family Tree.
Yeah, the movie our pick. Max, who gave it 3 stars, said, kind of copped out on the twist ending, but it was sweet. So that was good.
Okay.
Nora gave it half a star.
Nora.
My brain is mush. It's Hallmark soup. Slurp, slurp. That's kind of where we were at the end of this whole thing. And the last one is from Jack, who didn't give it a rating, who just wrote, quote, Frankenstein would have made the nativity more interesting. A line actually said by a character in this movie. And it's true.
It's true. That was a cute part, I thought.
That was another cute part when she went and bought unique gifts for everyone
Each person.
about their interests
That's
instead of
very
just getting
sweet.
gift cards.
Yeah.
Because the dweeby guy was like, I just get everybody gift cards.
Yeah.
And she's like, listen, I've been around
No.
this family for 6 minutes. I already know what each of them like. And here's what we're going to go get.
Yeah, that was sweet. And the Frankenstein little nativity person was good. A sweet touch.
That's when her love interest, when she's gone, when she's been proven to be an imposter and leaves, like on Christmas Eve night.
Of course.
He opens up her present and he like has a little breakdown because they're the little Frankenstein characters for the nativity scene.
She's thoughtful.
Mm-hmm. But I'll end on this. That was the other part that I thought was fun about this movie. This was the most fun we had predicting what was going to happen next.
True.
And
as we were watching it, yeah.
It kept coming true.
Of course it did.
No, but even when we're like, she's going to tell the whole family at the big family gathering. Oh, she's going to leave Christmas Eve night.
Yep.
Oh, they're going to show up at her apartment. Oh, it's going to prove that she's actually related to them. Like, they all kept.
It's a mistake.
So that was fun.
That was fun.
So I think we need to wrap it up. We're over an hour.
Okay, so we agreed.
This is our Happy Holidays episode.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh.
We'll do that. We're good. The poor house is getting a little rowdy. They're
rowdy
they're
in
playing
there.
Jefferson Starship.
Yeah.
We built this city on rock and roll.
No Christmas music here.
No. And I fear people are going to break into a sing-along here any second now.
Yeah, for sure.
So we may have another episode before the end of the year.
Best of.
No. Like just a movie episode.
Oh, yeah.
And then at the very beginning of the new year, we will have our best of episode where we share our favorite films, our personal list of the things we've talked about for the
I'm
2021 school year.
I like to reflect back.
Yeah, so it's a reflection and recap episodes coming up.
2021. Yep.
But in the meantime, we might watch. There's a lot of movies, so we still might watch something.
We have a lot of movies to watch, and we're off right now. So
I don't think we're ever going to get
time.
to our. I think our fans who listened regularly. I don't think our Andrew Garfield double feature is going to happen, but we'll highlight that in our next episode.
Although it was a good watch.
Yeah.
But we never got to the
passed
podcast
that mark.
for that one.
All right. So, happy holidays.
This was fun. Happy holidays.
Until our next sister swap.
Till next Christmas.
All right. Bye.
Bye.